Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Toxic Abyss, and today I want to cover why you shouldn't feel like you have to pay to win in Zenless Zone Zero. Now, I'll give you like an example from my account. So I've been getting like some of these characters, unlocking them and seeing how strong they are as I level them up. So start off with a Neko, got her pretty strong. She was doing pretty good, around 10,000 damage is like the max I do with her basics. Her ults and her X specials are way more depending on the situation, but she was doing good. But then these days she seems to be a little bit falling off a little bit. I can still clear the content with her pretty well. Depending on my team comp, it makes it a little bit easier. But it's not like she's not fighting the way she used to fight. She just feels a little bit like a little too weak. And yeah, I can like get better drive discs to try and up her stats more, or maybe try and pull her S weapon, which might give me that extra little bit of power that I'm craving. But it does push you into that feel of, oh, if I want to feel like the real strength, I need to go for like the pay to win characters. So enter pay to win character number 1, let's say Zuyen. So you go, all right, awesome. This one's going to be way better than Neko. She's going to be able to do so much damage. And she can. With her SIG weapon, it buffs her crit damage. With the right drive disc build, you can get her damage up. You can get her attack pretty good, her crit damage pretty good, and her crit rate. You can keep working on that. So like, you can kind of see, all right, an end game Zuyen, I could probably get that up by like another 30 to 50 if I'm like really like lucky, and the crit rate maybe like another 20 to 30 if I'm lucky, but it'll be rough. But okay, what will that mean in terms of damage? At 200, she's still only doing like 10,000, 11,000 damage if you're lucky at the right enemy. So I'm still sitting there going, well, okay, if I invest all that time and effort into the drive disc, how much am I really looking at? I don't think you're going to see a basic attack of 30,000. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon until we get maybe different drive discs. I think you're going to see around the 10 to 15. And usually the scale is probably more like anywhere between 4 and 15 if you're lucky, depending on your crit damage. Personally, I reckon you're only going to get like 4 to 12 or 4 to 13 if you're critting, right? So it makes you go, well, what's the answer? Then enter Jane Doe, right? Jane Doe was the answer. She came in and just cleared everything, right? I don't have her actually, but she just came in and cleared everything because of the skills she had. So it made you feel like, oh, it's because that's the new character. I need that. The game's progressing. And you're sort of chasing tails a little bit. Now we've got this new one, Miyabi, coming along, which I would argue is, I'll be very surprised if she doesn't power creep Jane Doe. If she power creeps Jane Doe, then we know that what they want is they're going to keep making us feel like we're not strong enough, and they're going to slowly feed us these better characters, and they'll just give us that craving. And then we'll want those characters, so then we'll invest in them, spend money maybe, and then the next thing will come along that will make them stronger or will help them, or the new replacement of them will come along. And we're forever chasing our tail to try and get that feeling. But at the same time, they're upping the health of the enemies, and maybe they'll start upping the health and the armor of the enemies, right? So then you'll have to invest in some pen drive discs and stuff around, and basically, I think they'll just keep us feeling weak. But you don't have to feel that way. And why I say that is because recently, someone has cleared level 100 in Battle Simulator, which is a very big deal in Zenless Zone Zero. Now, if you're not familiar with Battle Simulator or the Battle Tower, basically it's this really hard content where you fight through an endless tower, and every 5 levels you fight like a super boss, basically. Now, to clear level 25 using my characters, it took Zuyen, it took a Kalita so I could put on the stun properly, and I had some other, I think it was Caesar. It took all 3 of those, and my current characters, they're not necessarily weak, right? They're alright. They're pretty good at drive disc. Their skills are pretty sorted. Like, yeah, I could do a little bit more like investment into the basic attack there, and probably do more with this to make it a little bit easier to stun, but there's like marginal growth there really, considering like where we're at and what we focused on. So then it's like, okay, well, how come it was so hard for me to clear level 25 with pretty much pay to win characters, but then a Billy can clear level 100 by himself without any characters? And you got to look at, this game is not just about, it's not like the old ones. Like, it's not like Star Rail, for example, where you get the good rolls on your discs, you level up all your skills, you know, you unlock all their like Mindscape levels, and then you're going to be having one OP character. It's important, But it's all about the choice of character. And that's the key thing. It's not about paying to win for a better character or even worrying about to pay to win. It's about seeing what characters are here and what they do. Billy is one of the only characters that's ranged. And when I say, oh, but what about Zuyan? I'll get to her soon. He's the only real ranged character because what he can do is when he's fighting, he can stay at range. So if we can like compare him to like a Zuyan, Billy basically can sit outside of when the enemies are going to hit you, and he can just keep popping off the enemy from a safe zone. Every single other character kind of goes in a little bit, including Zuyan. So Billy can sit all the way over here, and he can fire off pretty good damage. His damage is less, but it's fine, right? He can just like sit back here and like, if the enemy wants to attack him, if they're a melee character, they have to run all the way over to Billy to get him. And if they're a ranged character, their ranged attack has to take its time to get to Billy. So you have such like a huge window to dodge as Billy, right? And obviously his damage isn't too bad. We were saying 10,000. This is a level 20 Billy. He's already doing 166, right? And like a leveled Billy can be doing up to 8 to 10. Like probably even more I've seen. We'll have a look soon at like a video of one. But as you can see, like 2,000 without any proper build on this dude. And now if I switch to Zuyan, she can kinda, but as you can see, she kinda creeps into the enemy a little bit. Or misses. And it's a little bit more annoying than Billy. And then her real basic is actually a close like kick. So if you wanted to sit out here and use like Zuyan, it's kinda not the same. You gotta control a little bit because she goes forward. While Billy, you can just sit here, you can just hold this button, and he just stays put. If anything, he actually goes further out, so it's hell of a easy. So investing in Billy, if you want to be doing content where you're dying, particularly this battle tower, is a very smart investment. Better than any of the pay-to-win characters to date. Now let me show you what happens when you invest into Billy fully. So this is a good example of a Billy that's leveled fully into all his skills. He's got the right drive dis on, but you can see like this is an achievable Billy to get. You know, you got your close to 3,000 attack, 170 crit damage is pretty high, but we'll have a look as to why. Decent crit rate, and then pretty much pen ratio is 24%, and don't really worry about the others. Definitely a strong Billy. Now, if we go into like his actual build himself, like full skills all leveled up, it's important because every little percentage matters. His weapon, he's using the brimstone, base attack and attack. If he's got the crit damage he's got, he's probably got pretty decent rolls in his drive disc, right? To get to 170 and to get to 65, that's a decent roll. Okay, but you're not having to buy a limited character. You can just use all your resources on one dude until you can get him sorted, right? So think about all this time we've wasted in our resources onto characters that we think are going to be that strong thing versus investing in the right character like Billy. So the right character like Billy, as you can see, look at the damage he's pulling off. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, and regularly an 8,000 pops up when he crits properly. Now this is Battle Tower 100 against the boss. This guy beats the boss, right? Both of them. 25, I think if you looked at his X special, it went even higher. And then he's got his ult, right? 113 assault, like pretty much probably the same damage you're seeing on your DPS currently, right? And he's got a lot of speed. He clears it. This Billy clears it, right? Which is highly impressive. Now, this is why I'm saying you don't have to invest in limited characters in Zenless Zone Zero. You have to find characters like this and invest in them. So if you're free to play, go for Billy. Invest fully hard in Billy and try and replicate this, and then just go for things that are going to support Billy, either keeping him alive or just supplementing him, basically allow him to do more damage. Now, if you're a little bit of a pay to win, you want to have a little bit of variety in characters, highly important to look for those characters that are like your Jane Does, that are like your Caesars, right? You want those kind of characters. If you are throwing it into just random characters, like I threw one into King Yi, she's just not like a Caesar. She's not like a Jane Doe. Don't get me wrong, a good stunner, but a little bit of a waste if you start trying to look for things that are unique. Because Hoyo, I think, has a tendency where sometimes they'll introduce a character and they might not fully realize what that means for the game. I think Billy was a very good example of that. Now, there's going to be other characters. Caesar's a little bit, you know, she's makes the defense side a little broken because you can keep regenerating her shield. They tried to fix it by making the enemies hit harder this time around, but I'm sure down the track there's going to be another character they make a little bit of a mistake on that we can capitalize on, so we're not wasting our time and resources on investing in the wrong things. So yeah, Jane Doe is the other one. So yeah, have a look at what these new characters do. Don't even worry about investing in them if Billy's still going strong and or not being nerfed or anything weird like that. But look at the new 4-stars. What do they do? Maybe they do something special that's gonna be worthwhile. Maybe they got a little bit of a glitch where you can like activate something of their kit that, you know, unintended, like they used to do with the guy with the drill arm, Anton. It was a way to keep activating his X special when he didn't have energy. So these are the things you need to look for. This is why I don't think you necessarily have to pay to win in Zenless Zone Zero. And I think if we want to have an easier time as players, we need to get smarter about not focusing on is pen better than attack or is electric damage better than attack, and start focusing more on the characters' kits and where it's worth investing our time. And where it's worth investing our time is what's going to give us an advantage on the battlefield. Like Billy, for example, ranged characters. We're going to look out for ranged characters in the future to see if there's anyone else that breaks the Billy meta as an example. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say on this topic. If you liked the video, please give it a like. I really appreciate it. It helps motivate me to make more videos. And let me know what you think about this whole pay to win. Are you frustrated like me where you just can't get that right mix of things yet? Or do you think it's just because it's still early days and we still need to take our time investing in these characters, and it's going to be different once we finally get the right drive discs and the right skills all leveled up? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, or take care.